the various...
Welcome to the basement. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the basement. I'm Nolo,
Jose, what's going on?
and I'm a little under the weather, so my voice is gonna sound funny the rest of the episode.
I wonder what you were doing.
I wonder what I was doing too.
Yo, it's Friday.
It's Friday out. This piece is the hottest day of the year, 100%. Have you
It
been
is?
outside?
It is. It is.
It's like 100 degrees outside.
I was sweating. I went out in a t-shirt. I knew better than to even dare trying to look cool with a jacket on.
I put my Superman cape on and I just walked around the streets.
Really?
Yeah,
And they didn't say anything in your job?
Oh,
Or you
people
took
are
it off?
scared. If you walk around with a Superman cape on, people automatically like, don't talk to that guy. Stay away from
For
him.
real.
All right, so today's topic of discussion is top Star Trek
Episodes.
quote unquote. This is our own opinion. Please don't hang us. We know that you love other episodes better than these, but these are ones that we like. But I have a few episodes in mind. Jose's gonna shut down the fans that we have blowing in the background. But yeah, so I finished my list in about, I want to say maybe 5 minutes.
I'm not done.
Whoa, that was yesterday, by the way. 5 minutes, I did it yesterday.
My only defense is that I actually care more about Star Trek than you do.
Oh, possibly, maybe.
Oh.
That could be. Or it could be I already know what my shows are.
All right.
I know my go-to Trek. If I want to feel happy, I watch these episodes.
If you want to
These
feel
are my
happy.
and what else too? If I want somebody to watch Star Trek, not all of these episodes, but some of them I'd be like, all right, you have to watch this one with me. If you never seen Star Trek before, watch this one with me. This will change all your preconception of what Star Trek is. Anyway, let's get right into it. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
No, I think because you were so, on point, right?
Yes, Star Trek. Here we go.
First of all, let's go back for a second. I just want to put out there, apologies about the video for you YouTubers. We had some technical difficulties this day.
We had mad technical difficulties. We had technical difficulties on all fronts. We were being attacked by the demon of technical difficulties.
So this would be better on podcast. Obviously, I'm also a little under the weather, as you can hear. And go ahead. What do you got?
And with the YouTube video, we're going to try to put some special stuff in there, so it's not just staring at a blank screen the whole time. Let's get right into it. Let's start with, do you want to start? It doesn't matter because you didn't pick an order, right? I picked an order. I picked one from each series. Okay, let me just go. All right?
You start.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
I'm going to start with Enterprise, okay? Because I'm going to start the first time frame wise.
Okay.
And the episode I chose is
These are the best or the worst?
the best. We're not doing the worst today. We'll do the worst next episode.
Oh, this is just the best.
Just the best.
Ah, you didn't tell me that.
Did
Did you do the worst?
No, I didn't.
That's why it took you 5 minutes. I'm over here. Go ahead. You know what? Go ahead.
All right. So, Enterprise. It's a two-parter.
This is the best we're doing?
The best. The best is in Enterprise, in my opinion. Affliction and Divergence. Right. This is season 4, episode 15 and 16. This is the episode where the Klingons take the augment DNA and infuse it into themselves, trying to make themselves stronger. And this explains away the ridges on the Klingon forehead. To me, this is beautiful Star Trek. This is perfect Star Trek, written perfectly. It collides problems that the old 1960s Trek had with the new Next Generation Trek.
I just saw this the other day.
This episode, this
Yeah.
two-parter,
It's two-parter.
oh, it's so good. And then remember, there's a doctor. Mind you, I haven't seen the episode in mad long. You just seen it, so you can help me probably.
Flocks?
Not Phlox.
Oh, the Klingon
doctor.
yes.
Yeah. Well, he's not really a warrior. He's a doctor, and he's like kind of torn. And didn't they blame it on him eventually?
Yes.
And
And that was like his disgrace.
It affected the Klingon culture for generations. And this is why, in Kirk's Enterprise, why they don't have the ridges. Why they just look like blackface people that just painted their face black and put on mustaches.
So, damn, bro. Sorry. So this is your best Enterprise.
Me, yeah.
Did you? This is the only one? Because I thought you said two.
No, I'm only gonna pick one from each series.
One
No,
from
but
each
this is a two-parter.
Oh, so you
That's
think you're
right.
gonna get extra credit? You're gonna
Yeah.
get extra credit. You
I
want a
get
little
bonus
star.
points. I get bonus
You want me to
points.
hang a little star on our blank walls we have
Yeah.
here?
That's that. I want a Star Trek on the wall.
Yo, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that soon, sooner than later. Okay, so that's Enterprise for you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You must have a lot written down there, bro, because I see you staring at the screen like you're lost. So I literally got 4 words written for each episode.
So for me, one of my favorites is Dead Stop,
Okay.
and
That's
that
what series is that?
this is we're sticking to
Enterprise,
Like
okay.
I'm following you, bro. Relax.
All right, go ahead.
So in Star Trek Enterprise,
Wait, but you gotta tell them what season and episode so they can follow along.
season and episode, I didn't get that far, bro.
All right, go ahead. Just tell me that.
Yeah, so Dead Stop for me would be one of my favorites. It is season 2, episode 4. How do I remember that? Is insane.
Okay.
I guess the alcohol was working last night. So basically, this episode is the episode in which the crew is badly damaged, and they finally ask for help, and they come across this dry dock, this space station that repairs ships, and it's run automatically. Eventually, I wish you could see this guy's face. Eventually, what ends up happening is the ensign.
Ensign.
Basically the ship instructs the crew not to. Basically, the ship instructs the crew not to go to certain areas while restricted areas while the ship is being repaired. It so happens that this space station tells the ensign, "No, you report to this area," and he does, and he gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Anyways, later on, what ends up happening is they find their crewman, and he's injected into the computer
Wait,
system.
you're missing so much.
What
bro.
am I missing?
You're missing the fact that they find his dead body.
Right. So right. So he's so called dead, and the doctor figure out that he's not dead when he runs.
This is a really good
the-
clone.
Like, yeah, exactly. But I try to get to the point where this is the episode that I feel like the origins of the Borg could have stemmed from.
Yeah.
Because when they find the ensign, and I forget his name, Mayweather.
Mayweather, yeah.
Yeah, Mayweather. He when they find him, he's all like hooked up to the.
Was he the
computer.
only black guy in the ship? Token black guy.
Our token black guy, but he doesn't die. And that's
Kill
one
him,
of
die.
that's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, because at the end when they blow it up, you see the station repairing itself.
Repairing itself. And you would have to imagine if it blew up, the most important thing that it protected was the other aliens that they've abducted.
Yeah.
Because that's
it
their
would,
CPU.
It would be like, we need the aliens, so let me assimilate them.
There you go. There's the only one word.
That's good. I like this.
So that's one of my favorite episodes in Enterprise, just because it leaves your mind wandering. First of all, it self-repairs. You see that at the end. What happens to it? Does the Federation must come across it
He
again?
must have reported it back. Like, hey, yo, we found this dock. We had to blow it up. Like, there has to be a report on
There
it.
has to be a follow-up, right? Because you could imagine that the Federation grows, so they're just gonna leave that thing alone. I don't think so. So it would be interesting.
Especially if after him telling the Federation that. The Federation is like a space tech that repairs the ships for you. We need this. We need this technology.
Yeah.
But
All right. We're gonna skip the original series.
only because I never really watched it.
Okay. That's fair enough. Which leads us to me dying. The Next Generation.
The Next Generation, yeah. Let me go first, of course.
I know what you're
You
gonna say.
already know what I'm gonna say.
I know what you're
because
gonna say.
and I'm sure As soon as I say the first little bit of this, everybody's gonna say yes, definitely. This episode is one of the episodes that I would show somebody that doesn't know anything about Star Trek. They're like, "Oh, it's like a space show." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "No, no, no. You have no idea."
I love that.
Okay, the episode is called "The Inner Light," season 5, episode 25. They don't make shows like this anymore, where they come across a floating satellite, like whatever, like a beacon in space. So when they go to scan it, or it scans the ship, I think happens, and then it like a flash of light comes. Picard, the captain, falls down. He awakes and he's in another world, basically. He's in another life. And they're like, "Oh my God, are you feeling better? You were under the weather, blah blah blah." And of course, he's like, "No, I'm a captain of a ship," and no matter what he does, he's stuck there, basically, right? They're kind of primitive technology, right? Nothing, no space stuff, nothing crazy. So he's pretty much stuck on the planet. And he winds up living his entire life on this planet. And eventually just assimilating into the lifestyle, having a kid. But he never forgets about the ship that he was on. So he's always looking up at the stars, and his kid is looking up at the stars. And he learns how to play his little flute that we see him play later on in other shows, episodes, right? And then he wakes up. Eventually, I think the planet dies or he dies. I don't remember. But anyway, he wakes up back on the ship. Meanwhile, in his head, a whole lifetime had passed. But on the actual ship, it was only a few minutes, maybe a few seconds. And he is just in shock. And I know you don't watch it, but for the listeners out there that do watch it, it's like that game on Rick and Morty. I can't remember the name of the game either. Where you live a whole life. It's a game you put like, it's a VR headset you put on and you live an entire lifetime. And then at the end, when you die, you wake up in the video game, out of the video game, and everybody's like, "Ah, you only lived 42 years, you suck." Meanwhile, you're like, "Oh my God, my wife. Where's my wife?" Damn, I wish you watched Rick and Morty, bro.
What show?
Rick and Morty.
What is it about?
I just got to sit down with you and watch it with you. We should record it while we watch it.
It's a show. How many seasons did it go in?
It's like three. It's not. I think it did 3 seasons or 2 seasons. I don't know.
Okay.
So good though. It's a lot of sci-fi. The guys that wrote it they're really into sci-fi stuff. They added a lot of sci-fi ideas into it.
Okay.
What you got there?
For next, so knowing that you were going to pick this episode, by the way, I have to agree. If, by chance, by now, if you're still listening to this and you're not a Star Trek fan, that's amazing, first of all. But this is one of those episodes that it's a standalone, you could watch. And if you could just understand the fact that the captain went through a whole entire lifetime. Like, it was only minutes, right? It was actually only minutes that happens.
Yeah,
but for him, it was actually
an entire lifetime.
a whole entire lifetime.
Kid, family,
Grandkids, right?
I don't remember if it was grandkids.
Didn't his daughter have, and he was playing with her? Like,
maybe,
it's so
yeah.
messed up.
I want to watch it again now.
So because you picked that episode, I had a really difficult time picking an episode, and there was a lot of reasons for that. One of the things that was really one of the episodes that stuck to mind. There's a clip, and I'm gonna put up the clip as the runner-up, and it's the reason why I like the idea of Star Trek. And so I'll put that in the side notes. But the one that I ended up sticking to, and there are many, was Code of Honor.
Code of Honor, okay.
Do you remember that one?
No.
I See Three Lights.
Oh yes.
So in this episode, the captain is pretty much taken by the Cardassians, and the person interrogating him is basically trying to force him to say that he only sees 2 lights, right?
Yeah. No, I think it was 4.
4 or something.
How many lights do you see?
You know
what's crazy about
that? Reminds me of the clip that you were talking about, the apple, but it's really a banana.
Oh yeah.
It's
Did we talk about
similar.
that on the show? Or was it just me and you talking?
I think it was just us talking. We talk a lot of Star Trek sometimes.
Yeah.
so I couldn't even remember.
So it's almost like
you remember that episode,
yeah,
right?
I remember. Yeah, yeah.
So it was just dope seeing the captain hold his own in that episode. But I kind of feel like that relates to a lot of how people are just being forced to believe what's literally right before them, but because it's it's part of the social norm, you're under pressure to be this category then. But he held his own at the end, and I love the part that he's free to go, but he still wants to turn around and tell him, "I see 3." That was dope.
You know what's another thing about that episode? It's a few episodes touch a lot of things. Remember that episode with I don't remember the title, when the guy there, he doesn't know the language, and the Captain Picard and the other captain from the other ship go stuck on the planet, and he's saying words and he doesn't understand them. What he's like, Jalad, and when the walls fell and stuff like that.
Oh, that's the what's that episode called? Oh man,
Darmok, was it?
Darmok.
So
Darmok and Jalad.
yeah. So those stories were actually stories from old books from back in the day that they reused. Like from when the walls fell. Those words that he uses are quotes from a book. From an old book. From like Plato or something. So what do you think it's next? Let's just go Voyager. Alright. The one I chose for Voyager is
Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 short second, because this is the point where I want to mention. This is the point where I want to mention the YouTube clip of an episode, and the YouTube clip is called "What a Piece of Man Is."
okay.
And it's Captain Picard speaking to Q, and Q we know is testing. Right, he's testing Picard and humanity, but in this one particular episode, and it's very early on in the season, and I'll have the full description up. But basically, in this clip, Q questions and tests Picard on the history and where humanity is going. So I'm gonna pause so you can hear it real quick.
Are you gonna play it right now too?
Just for you, but I'll pause. Ready?
Why these games? Well, the play's the thing. And I'm surprised you have to ask when your human Shakespeare explained it all so well.
So he did, but don't depend too much on any one single
It's a pity you don't
viewpoint.
know the content of your own library. Hear this, Picard, and reflect. All the galaxy is a stage.
World, not galaxy. All the world's a stage.
Oh, you know that one. Well, if he were living now, he would have said galaxy. How about this? Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
I see. So how we respond to a game tells you more about us than our real life. This tale told by an idiot. Interesting, Q.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Perhaps maybe a little Hamlet?
Oh, no, I know Hamlet. And what he might say with irony, I say with conviction. What a piece of work is man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form, in moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god.
Surely you don't see your species like that, do you?
I see us one day becoming that, Q. Is it that which concerns you?
Yeah, boy. So I just wanted to throw that in there. We'll get back into it. You're on Voyager. Go.
I am on Voyager. All right.
How did you skip DS9?
I'm gonna go that one next. Damn. Voyager, I chose one called Living Witness. Okay. Season 4, episode 23. This is when a copy of the Doctor's program gets stuck on a planet. I don't remember what it was. It's like an emitter or something. I don't know what it is. And then they revive him like 400 years in the future.
Okay.
But for him, it was yesterday. Right?
Yeah.
And this is the one where they're telling the story of Voyager, that it was like a warship and that the captain was evil. And the Doctor is telling them, no, that you're the way you're telling the story is all wrong. and then they put the doctor on trial, right, to delete him or something. Like I said, this is in the back of my mind. I haven't seen any of these recently, and then later on, after everything's all over, the doctor pretty much stays on the planet and helps out, and eventually he leaves the planet to head back to Earth. Somehow he gets a ship or something. I don't remember at the end. Do you see that I said that? I was always curious about the outcome of that.
So in that episode, he went through generations.
Yeah.
Because again, he's a hologram.
Yeah.
So not only did he repair the status quo of Voyager's encounter with this alien race, he restored the name of Voyager, the events that occurred, but he also stood around to resolve and hold as a witness and as evidence as to the history to resolve the current issue they had, which was really like it was like it was one race against the other. So it was like
it was, but they were like a peaceful rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Like, all my race is better than yours.
Well, it didn't get peaceful when they attacked the
the museum.
When they attacked the museum, and luckily through that tricorder, right?
Yeah.
He was able to prove, what had actually transpired.
Yeah. Oh, because he scanned, because at the place he shot. Oh my God! It's such a
Yeah,
good
bro,
episode.
it's such a good episode. But it's good because then it leads to how he sticks around, helps them for years, and how he still had it somehow in his programming as a human hologram, he still had a yearning to go
Back home, yeah.
which was dope. That's a good episode.
All right, go ahead. Where is it, baby?
Wow. There's so many. This one I actually took time and was like looking at photos and remembering the episode. I was gonna go and say Endgame, but I ended up going with the episode called Scientific Method. Scientific Method is basically it's an episode of season 4, episode 7. It's the episode where the crew encounters an alien that's invisible and performing these experiments on them. And and basically Janeway finds out, and you really see Janeway's guts, like how far she's willing to go.
Yeah, she was like willing to destroy the ship.
She was willing, and she almost did, and I just like that. And you also see that from her in the Year of Hell, and you also see that in an episode called Hope and Fear, and that is a fire truck.
That's a fire truck. Welcome to New York, baby.
So yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite Voyager.
A lot of people hate on Voyager. Voyager had a lot of good episodes.
It does. You remember the clown episode?
The clown?
They were like, "Oh no, they found these people who were in these stasis pods." Real quick, they were in the stasis pods, so they went down there.
Oh,
and
that
they
went to their head or
activated,
something?
and then
I
they went.
hated that episode.
You what?
I hated it.
The ending is the whole point.
I hated it, bro. I hated watching it. All right.
All right, good.
We gotta
DS9,
say this.
DS9, baby.
DS9. DS9. Okay, here we go. DS9. Into the Pale Moonlight. Season 6, episode 19. Did you pick that one too?
Of course.
Ah, damn. All right, it doesn't matter. We'll still go with it. This is the one, so we should just go back and forth. This is the one where it opens up with Cisco just talking into the camera, right? And basically the whole idea is that they're losing the war. The Dominion are gonna win, and there's nothing we can do to stop them. The only way to do it is to take the Romulans. They take the Romulans and get them on our side, but there's no way to do it. There's no way to get them on our side. So the idea is to get Garrick with the connections within the Cardassian whatever to get a recording of them, right? He can't do it. So they decide to forge it. And the forge almost fails. But eventually the Romulans believe it, and then the Romulans join the Federation. And that's what turns the tide in the war.
He basically breaks the
Prime Directive, yeah, for
breaks-
sure. He breaks everything.
so
He breaks the Geneva Convention of the United States of Earth right now. Nigga.
I think that with that being said, in that episode, what's really interesting about that episode is that I really love the episodes where the captain's morals and the Prime Directive is in question.
Yes.
It really
It just proves that it's not just a space show.
yeah.
It's not. It's so much more. And every time I tell people about Star Trek, they're like, "Oh yeah, cowboys in space or whatever." I'm like, you don't even know the half, yo. There's so much character. There's so much depth. The stories are so deep on so many different levels.
Yeah, I mean, and once you understand what the principle of Starfleet and their values are, and then you see these captains, struggling because the situations call for it. So it is deeper than most people think. Yes, there are a lot of other episodes, and we'll go into it next time of the worst episodes and why. But yeah, I agree. In the Pale Moonlight is definitely the best episode of DS9.
And I chose for Discovery.
Wow.
I had to choose one. Okay.
The fire truck made a wrong turn, so it's going back down the block.
I chose Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad. Okay? Season 1, obviously. Episode, was it 7? I think I made a mistake here. I think it's 7. Anyway, the point is, this is the one where, what's the guy's name? Oh my God, I forgot the guy's name. The guy's name from the original series that they put him over, that he's a guy from The Office. Oh my God. You know what I'm talking about?
Farley? No, I'm thinking about the Orville.
We should do a thing on that. Anyway, the point is, he tries to take over the ship or destroy the ship, or I forgot the whole story behind it. The story doesn't matter to me. What matters to me about it is it's the most Star Trek of the series.
What was happening again in that?
He lands on he's in like a whale or something, a space whale. They capture it, they bring it on. He opens the mouth and he comes out walking out. And he has this thing where he rewinds time over and over again to try to take over the ship. And I forget which character.
Harry Mudd.
Mudd, yeah. And then I think it's the girl. She remembers. Like this is being we did this.
First of all, that episode was a little confusing. If you don't know a little bit about time and stuff, you'd be lost. But that is a good episode.
Now, the only reason why, like I said, it's not the episode. The reason why I chose this episode, I chose this episode because it's the most Star Trek of the series altogether. Like to me, the entire season was one episode.
That's exactly why I don't have an episode.
But that one stands out because it's so different than all the other ones. It's literally you can pluck it out. And that's why I'm not feeling Discovery as much, because right now me and you going back and forth. What's your favorite Voyager? What's your favorite this?
Yeah.
We can't do this with Discovery.
I couldn't. I told you this morning. I was they suck. I hate it.
Yeah. I like the show. Don't get me wrong, but it's not what we're. We go back and forth with different episodes. With Discovery, you just can't do that.
No.
You can't just pluck an episode out and be like, this is a good episode because blah, blah, blah. No, because it's a continuation of the story. It's a literally episode stretched out and you cut a piece out.
The best way for those Star Trek fans to describe, I think, the best way to describe it is the Xindi incident.
Oh, in the Enterprise.
Yeah, but it's isolated.
Yeah, yeah.
If you look at every other episode, they can stand alone.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do stand alone. Dead Stop stands alone. Everything up to the Xindi stands alone, in my opinion.
Did you pick a Discovery episode?
I didn't. I couldn't.
All right.
I couldn't
So-
even.
I just, because I wanted to, we gotta wrap it up, but I chose an honorable mention, and I wanted to choose so much more, but I just had to pick these.
Oh man.
One of them I chose was Latent Image, which is the one in Voyager. It's in season 5. I don't remember the episode, where the doctor has to make a decision of who he's gonna choose to save. 2 patients come in at the same time. They're both severely injured. He has to save one. He doesn't have time to save both. So he chooses to save Harry Kim. And in turn, the girl that is on the table dies. And it's his fault. And he goes crazy. So they erase his memory. And they erase the memory of that girl from him altogether. And then little by little he starts remembering the girl. And he starts going crazy again. And then that's when Janeway goes into the holodeck with him. She just sits with him, talking to him while he's trying to get his mind together. That's a good one, right?
That is a good one.
All right, and another honorable mention I just wanted to mention was DS9, Far Beyond the Stars, Season 6, Episode 13. That's the one where Cisco, something happens where, I think it's just in his head, where he becomes this science fiction writer in the 1930s or something. And the whole episode takes place back then. There's not really any aliens or anything. It's just regular people talking about race relations in America. But the reason why I like this episode so much was because the first time I saw it, I was blown away by looking at the characters without makeup on. Just regular acting. You know what I'm saying? Like Odo with no makeup on, just talk. And I heard his voice. I was like, yo, that's Odo. I know his voice.
That is a good episode.
What's the name of the Ferengi? Oh, God. I'm going to forget. The bartender? Quark. When I heard Quark's voice come out that guy's mouth, I was like, oh, my God. It was crazy. That, to me, that burned into my memory. Because you don't see that in any other Star Trek, where there's just no makeup and just being regular people.
It's true.
You know?
It's true. Honorable mentions for me. Voyager would be Endgame. Blink of an Eye. Remember that one?
No, what's that one?
That's the planet that's spinning really fast.
Oh, that's such a good episode. Where the time is going fast. In fact, that's another one. They sent the doctor down. It takes a few seconds to get him back because something happened. And when they pull him back up, it was like 4 years had passed.
Yeah.
And he had a wife and whatever. Remember, he was like an opera singer or something.
That was insane. That was really those are honorable mentions. Most of the honorable mentions for me would be Voyager because I feel like they dealt with a lot of moral issues more than the other series.
That's what I'm saying.
People,
Voyager gets a lot of hate, but they had really good episodes.
Yeah,
yo.
it's true.
And like I said, with these episodes, we could plug even Deep Space Nine. It's a story through and through, but we could pluck episodes out of it. Like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. But with Discovery, for some reason now, and that's our future, bro. That's our future. Like think about Game of Thrones. We can only pluck a handful of episodes out, like the Battle of the Bastards. To me, that's like, oh my God, that was the most intense. But you don't get it unless you know the lead up to it.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. You can't just.
You have to watch the entire series to get it. I can. Oh God, where is it at? Shoot. I can pluck out Inner Light and show you. You can never know anything about Star Trek,
true.
and you'll get it.
You know what? If anyone's listening to this, Inner Light, check it out.
Yeah, again,
Definitely.
Inner Light, Next Generation, Season 5, Episode 25. Check it out. And then write in the comments. Tell us what you think about that. And if you have any episodes that you think are better than these that we forgot about,
Please.
put them down below, whether that be on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Just put it down. And check out our website, www.thebasementny.com.
Who uses www, bro?
Oh, my bad. http://
Real quick though, we got guests coming. We have more stuff for you guys. We're gonna follow up this episode with the worst episodes in Star Trek series.
Oh,
And
there's so many.
it's just one that it just thinking about it hurts my brain. But that's it. This is the basement,
that's
y'all.
next episode. The basement. Peace.
Peace.